Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host, Better Call Paul, and this episode we're breaking down the life and times of Saul Goodman in his latest episode titled Breaking Bad. This sees the titular character go from black and white to Walter White. And there's a lot to unpack in the episode. Now, we watch Jimmy develop a new identity, see what Buzz has been up to since Home Alone, and get more views than a cat video. Throughout this, we're going to be going through it all, but we'd massively appreciate you hitting the thumbs up button, and also don't forget to subscribe for videos like this every day. With out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into Better Call Saul. Okay, so this episode features the return of both Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul in the first of their many rumoured cameos this season. They're meant to be returning a couple more times, so expect to see them pop up next week and probably at some point in the finale. Also, shout out to all you guys for sending me a clip from Breaking Bad Season 5 in which Saul actually foreshadows what happens to him in the series.
If I'm lucky, a month from now, best case scenario, I'm managing a Cinnabon in Omaha.
Now we open in the build up to the scene from Season 2 in which Saul first mentioned Lalo and Nacho.
Lalo didn't send you? No, Lalo?
Who?
Oh, thank God. Oh, Christ.
Walt and Jesse even ask him about who this is, bringing everything full circle from this prequel into the show. Now we see the other side of it this time with us watching the events through the eyes of Saul as he travels in the back of the RV turned meth lab. There's also little bullet holes in the door, and it's great being back in this environment. I love how Jimmy constantly speaks Spanish as he believes that the cartel have finally caught up with him.
Whatever the problemo, we can fix it with dinero. Mucho dinero.
Now they lean him over the grave that they've dug out for him, and there becomes some very important symbolism with this later on. We transition from the grave to Gene lying in bed, and the images are superimposed over the top of each other. To me, this potentially foreshadows that death is coming for Gene, and that's right, it's theory time. Now with Gene technically not existing, there is a possibility that he could be killed off by some of the characters in the present day storyline, and thus no one would ever really go looking for him. Sure, he's the manager of Cinnabon, but beyond that, he doesn't have any friends or relatives, and most believe that he could potentially already be dead. If they unearthed his body, the police would likely instantly identify who he was, and then they'd probably tie it to the cartel. In the opening, we get such a strong emphasis on Jimmy believing it's the cartel, which may be used as a way to reflect the police assumptions too. Now I'd love it if Marion ended up killing him after discovering who he is. Last week she talked about how she and Jeff had to move away from Albuquerque because the latter got in with the wrong crowd. She spends a lot of time on her computer watching cat videos, and potentially she might even stumble across a wanted poster for Saul Goodman. This would make her realize who Gene is, and then she might kill him to protect her son. The pair could then bury him, and with him not technically existing, they might get away with this. However, this symbolism could also be used to show the death of Gene, as we get Saul returning, and even a new identity in this entry. Might not happen, any of that, and I kinda hope that Saul lives. But anyway, that's the end of theory time. Probably not right, so don't watch this video after the finale. Theory time. Now the title sequence is a lot shorter than normal, with us barely getting anything beyond a brief flash of a rocking chair. We cut to the blue screen of death that you'd get when a VHS tape hit a point where nothing had been recorded onto it. I think this shows that time is running out for Jimmy / Saul / Gene / Victor, and whether it's death or jail, things are all coming to a close. Now cut to it is the finale in 2 weeks time, so not a massive prediction that, but still, I think I'll be right in that case. Now we cut to Francesca, who seems as sick of her life as the rest of the characters are. We start off with a Cheerio floating in a blocked sink, which reminded me a lot of the pool scene from Breaking Bad with the bear. The only good thing in her life is that she occasionally catches glimpses of Jackie Chan adventures on the TV, but other than that, her existence is pretty crappy. You might remember that in Season 4, Saul told her to be at a specific payphone at a specific time, and we watch as she travels out to this location. It appears that she's being followed, and though we don't know if this is for definite, Francesca states that she knows she's being tailed a lot. Her phone at home clicks, and her mail is opened, showing how the feds are still looking for the characters that got away. We hear about Skylar's deal, and also how Jesse's car was found at the border, which is something that was touched upon in El Camino. Huell is also moved back to New Orleans as he was held under false pretenses and he got to walk. Lastly, they bring up Kuby, who was played by Bill Burr in Breaking Bad. Along the way, we see an ad for William Oakley on a bench, and this lists him as a defense attorney, showing how he switched sides. Now at this point, Francesca comes to a literal crossroads. This of course symbolizes someone having to make a choice, and it's something that Saul also does later on in the entry. Just as she's about to take off, the phone rings and Jean speaks to her. There's some great iconography in this scene, such as graffiti of an old western sheriff, hinting to how the law is always a potential danger. We see how Saul had money hidden away just in case times got tight, and the reason he chose this payphone is because it's close to a bundle of cash. We learn that money is running low, as all of his laundering operations have been compromised by the feds, and these fake fronts have left Saul with no reserves. Saul is also wearing Marco's ring, who too gets name dropped in this entry. Now along with this, we also hear that Kim has asked whether Jimmy is alive or not. Francesca didn't give anything up, as this could make it so the police look into her more if Kim snitches. Now this idea of Kim asking after him scratches away at Jimmy, and he eventually rings her after stopping at a literal crossroads. Symbolism, again that. Now this of course confirms that Kim is alive, and that she survived past the events of Breaking Bad. Of course, we did kind of know this, but we discover that she's now working at a sprinkler company out in Florida. In true Better Call Saul fashion, we don't see their conversation, however, the emotions that Jimmy has are very clear. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, the creative team behind the series brought up that we'll see the other side of this at some point in the future, and I imagine that next week might even open with things from Kim's point of view. Now, a big theme about this season especially is how Saul is addicted to the lifestyle. Bob Odenkirk has discussed several times in interviews how Jimmy is constantly pulled back to the con because that's who he is as a person. He just can't keep away from it, and though he's alive, he doesn't feel like he's living. Even after telling Jeff that it was over last week, he returns to work with him and Buddy, which will likely lead to his demise. He ends up showing Marion Cat videos, and though they build some more rapport, she seems really suspicious. I don't know if you've seen the American Greed parody that got posted on Jimmy, but this satirical documentary popping up on YouTube would be absolutely hilarious, I think. Would tie nicely to it and give Marion a way to learn about him and also protect her son. Cut to Gene running a con with a man at a bar, and for the way he treated his little brother Kevin, take him for all he's worth. The guy's a chump.
See you, chump.
Now Gene sings Brandy by the Looking Glass, which we discover is because he lost a bet with the character. This song always reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when Ego talked about it, and I guess when all you have is comic book movies, then that's your entire frame of reference for anything. What a f***ing loser I am. Anyway, Gene is masquerading under the name of Victor, which of course means winner, and he plays a sap, but he's just running a long con on him. Slowly he drains his drinks to stop him from getting drunk, and allows himself to constantly lose in order to play him more and more. Alfred here is of course meant to reflect Marco, and I think the character looks this way on purpose to mirror him slightly. He also pulls off the cheap cons he did, but he's being played himself, so he clearly isn't at his level. Jeff arrives in the cab for the next part of the scam, and we see that Buddy is impersonating his dispatch. Along with him is a dog that he takes to the house, and this goes with them on all the jobs that they carry out this way. Dogs of course shed hair, and potentially all the jobs could end up getting linked by this little criminal canine that accompanies them along the way. The police might end up drawing the connection, and they could go to Buddy and Jeff, which will scare Marion into maybe giving up the goods on Gene. Now, I'm not going to drop a theory time, but I'm going to keep changing the name of Jimmy throughout the breakdown, but again, you know what I mean. Don't be that guy in the comments who says, well actually it's Saul, not Jimmy, it's Slippin' Jimmy. You know who I mean. Don't be that guy, you f***ing head. Sorry about that. They take photos of, I know you're a nice person, yeah? They take photos of several documents, ID cards, bank accounts, and checks, and this allows Gene to get a Swing Master machine, which calls back to his time as Saul. Go to the Breaking Bad timeline, and shout out to Aaron Paul for being in 2 of the best shows on TV right now. During this scene, Saul figures out that this is where blue meth is cooked up, and that Walter is Heisenberg. Saul grabs the round bottom flask and talks about how he could use it as a fishbowl, which links back to the recent poster for this episode. It was great seeing the two back in this entry, and I love how it's not really played as being just a fan service cameo, and they actually get some great character moments and lines. The pair bicker back and forth, and the battery ends up running out on the RV, which was of course a big plot point during Breaking Bad. Mike also returns later on in the entry, and was it just me, or did this feel like a cameo, even though we only seen him a couple of episodes ago? Now he's used to bring in info on Walter White, and Saul ends up going to his high school after learning he has lung cancer. After asking about Lalo, they try the engine once more, which starts up, and from here we transition from the grave shot into the bed. The scam continues once more, with the team running it on several wealthy men in the area. To the song Topeka Tundra by Mike Nesmith, we watch as they collect several IDs. Gene beds a lot of ladies of the night, further tying back to his time as Saul, telling you. Anyway, he's clearly back in the first stages of how he used to operate, which eventually led to him becoming Saul. The slipping Jimmy one is back, and the deck of cards ends up being set up around a Mark, who we learn has cancer. This of course reflects Walt, who Mike learns Saul shouldn't go near. This conversation is mirrored in the current scam, which there's a lot of talk about staying away from. This is likely the job that will bring it all crashing down, as Buddy wants to stop it, but Gene wants to go headfirst into it, which may be foreshadowed in the scene, or it may be a reach. Now he has no qualms about ripping someone off with cancer, and it shows how much he wants to be in this life at any cost.
So, a guy with cancer can't be an asshole? Huh, believe me, I speak from experience.
Gene ends up going to Jeff's in the night, which Marion overhears, and Buddy refuses to do it. He also says he pulled the tape when he left, so there's no way they can do it, even if they want to. However, Gene is too fixated on this to quit, and the pair drive out there and smash the guy's window. Love how the build-up of this scene reflects the one where he was picked up at the airport, but now instead of being paranoid, Gene is willing to rush in headfirst without any restraint. Integrate with this is Saul going past Walt's Pontiac Aztek to the science department as he breaks the window. Looks like stuff is going to go down too, as we know from the preview at the end that the police arrive, and what this is for, I have no idea. Perhaps Buddy called the cops, the guy in the house might have done it, or it could be someone much worse. Gene may have been shot as an intruder, Marion might have got a confession from her son and rang them, or Gene might have ended up having to kill the guy, which may have alerted the neighbours. I turn it over to you. Give us your best theory below, and also let us know what you think of the episode as a whole. I loved it, and I can't wait to see what happens in the final two. I'm guessing next week's Walt cameo will be at the school, and hopefully we'll get a return of Kim as well. Now, as a thank you for posting below, you'll be entered into a competition where we're giving away 3 copies of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on the 15th of August. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the episode. We pick the comments at random at the end of the month, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of Westworld, which will be linked on screen right now. I'm having a lot of fun with the show, thank you so much for all the support on it, and hopefully I see you over there right after this. Out of the way, thanks for clicking the video, I've been Paul, I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.